Hi, so today I wanted to talk about the technological singularity and capitalism. So I'm not a huge fan of capitalism. There are people who talk about capitalism in its natural form, kind of does make sense, and I agree with that sentiment. However, what we currently have is a monstrous version of hyper capitalism with obscene wealth inequality currently. So I'm not a fan of that because I like humanity and people, and I think it's just a super weird phase that we have found ourselves in. Although it's not surprising, it's not weird, it is super weird, but it's not surprising if you go back thousands of years, hundreds of years, decades, then you can see the path exactly how we came to be here. So in that sense, it's not surprising. So I have thought a decent amount about different forms of governance and different forms of organizing society and humanity, and also I think a lot about the technological singularity. What I did think about though is that I think capitalism in its extreme form that we have right now, capitalism is the fastest way to get to a technological singularity, because it's just a constant race for better, faster technology. And we are currently in this point where the curve is just going vertically up. And we get to be in this very weird moment. This is one interesting path that we have taken. And our world has grown so complex that no one single person can understand it. Where we used to be of tribes of 10, 20, 30 people, the world was simple and understandable. Truth is, on a human level, the world still is simple and understandable. It's this cognitive dissonance of these both statements being true. Life at its purest and just conscious experience of nature and life and being is beautifully simple. But the emergent properties of what these thinking creatures, these apes, have done is incredibly, unbelievably complex. That I think about this sometimes, that we are so specialized. With every advancement, with every technological revolution, people became more and more specialized. What we had a few thousand years ago, we had craftsmen, we had people going gather the woods, we had some religious people, we had caretakers, maybe around 5 or 10 professions. Now we have thousands, tens of thousands of different specializations that people dedicate their entire lives of studying the mating rituals of some butterfly wasp in some kind of South American jungle, and dedicate their entire lives to that. And in one way or another, they do help our species move on. I think what is fascinating and what technology has allowed us to do, thank you information revolution, is that we can connect all of these discoveries. What I see so beautiful and interesting is that fields that before were totally disconnected from each other now beginning to connect in fascinating ways, and that will lead us to future technologies, and AGI of course will take over. But for now, it's interesting to see that we have used to have biology and just information technology. Now we have biotechnology. Everything is done in computers. Materials technology, searching for better medicine, chemical compounds for better buildings, aerodynamic simulations of getting better and faster airplanes. Everything we can imagine now is done through computers, and the information revolution has allowed us to completely transform the way we do things. So I wonder, it's interesting and fun for me to sometimes ponder about if for some reason AGI was impossible and we never got to it. I wonder how human civilization would continue if we never had singularity to do AGI. How we would continue. We would get really far. We would get amazingly far, and I think at the end of the day we don't even need AGI. But this is just a wonderful gift that we are making for ourselves, that we will get AGI. It's just a mind-blowing topic. It feels kind of unreal at times. It really does, when people have so differing opinions on it, of course. But when some AI expert talks about how in the next few decades we might have a thinking machine that is as intelligent as a human being, capable of making itself smarter in a matter of seconds, minutes, hours, smarter than any human being, that sounds like a fantasy. That sounds like science fiction. And again, it's the inability of the human mind to truly comprehend these issues. You can't really understand it the same way how we can't comprehend our galaxy, and hundreds of billions of stars in our galaxy and hundreds of billions of galaxies. The immensity of that, the same way that we're used to thinking in terms of tribes, of maybe we can care about 10 people, maybe we can care at most maybe about 100 people, have semi-close relationships with. But billions of people that we are now connected to, we just can't. Even if we on a pure logical level get these kind of abstractions in our head that, okay, there are like a million people suffering in a specific country, what do we do about it? We rarely get the real feel of that. But it is possible, it's not impossible. But it's just interesting to think about these kind of flashes of different lives of different people going on right now. At this moment right now, there are people on our planet in tremendous pain, having gone through some accidents, debilitating diseases, just pure human suffering and misery going on right now, and people starving right now. As you are sitting in wherever you're sitting or standing up in a bus or whatever, right now that is happening. In another side of the world, there is some person who's having the most pleasant, amazing experience of their lives. They, found their love of their life, or did really well with their favorite professions or hobbies or whatever. It's just the insanity of so much going on and trying to comprehend it. I think it's interesting. I look forward to when we can enhance our brains to be able to comprehend these ideas better. Like I'm also fascinated what will happen with our technological advancements once we have AGI, how much we can figure out and understand about the world. Right now we are here with our own universe, which is like 95% unknown, with dark energy and dark matter making up the energy content of the universe, and around 5% being maybe the stuff, the stars, planets, galaxies, and we understand this stuff, and we understand the laws of physics, how cause and effect, how they work, but we have no idea what might have begun the universe. I'm interested in these questions that right now, when you ask, the most expert scientists, and they tell you that we have no idea and we can never find out. I'm interested about those questions that they say that we'll never find out. I want to see what AGI, superintelligence, will figure out about these things. About the nature of us, the nature of consciousness, and just being, that anything exists at all, and that we have this universe, why we have it. Or a multiverse of just infinite amount of universes like ours, with infinite amount of different stuff going on. Like why anything? Why not nothing? Why anything at all? It's so weird that there is anything at all. It didn't have to be this way. And I'm sure in a majority of the universes in this multiverse, which very likely we do live in a multiverse, because the laws of physics and how specific they are tailored for life, won't make sense otherwise. You might as well say it's a simulation or a god. But of course, it's a question of where do they live then. But I'm interested in that kind of stuff, and wow, just to figure that kind of stuff out even a little further and a little more is amazing. But it is interesting that yes, this system so messed up the obscene inequality of people suffering, toiling away their lives for someone to make a profit. and buy a new car at the cost of people wasting their lives and suffering. But it will get better, and everything will get better. Whether or not AGI will happen soon or sooner or later, whether or not we will have the singularity or not, it is a fact that our technologies are advancing exponentially, and they are making life easier in medicine, in energy, in food, overpopulation, and our messed up system. All of these things can be taken care of and fixed. And I have faith in humanity. Social media is brainwashing people into thinking that only bad stuff is happening, but no. For all the bad, there's also so much good, and people who genuinely want to make the world better and working on it. And I have faith in those people. So we'll see what happens in the next few years and in the next decade. I'm here waiting with you, and gonna be interesting if nothing else. So just some thoughts about technology and stuff. I hope there are some interesting thoughts in here for you. If you have any ideas or thoughts, please share them in the comments. And of course, thank you so much for watching, and take care.